Hello everybody, welcome back. Crescendo. I open my eyes groggily, completely bereft of energy. For a while, I simply lie down lifelessly, staring at the ceiling as I review the events in the morning, in an attempt to organize my thoughts. We went to walk to town. My heart nearly gave away. We came back. I took my pills. I slept. I can only remember each period of time as a snapshot, but the timeline is clear enough. The memory of the girls' faces as I struggle to stand is an unpleasant one, stinging my feelings harshly. If I look at the ceiling hard enough, I can imagine the tile edges and small dimples of the ceiling in the hospital. That fact alone is enough to make me sit up and try to pull myself together. I scratch the back of my disheveled hair, glancing around the room. Lily and Hanako are nowhere to be seen, and the television's turned off. The clock above it says it's pretty late in the afternoon. The noticeable reddened sky outside the windows confirms it further. I turn and pick myself off the futon, swaying slightly as I put my arms out for balance. I suppose I'd better go look for the girls to see if they are alright. As I look out the window, I faintly see something in the distance. Straining my eyes, I can just make out the shape of a person's figure, her long blonde hair swaying in the faint breeze makes her almost seem to melt into the bright yellow of the wheat field. Without a second thought, I leave the room to follow that lone apparition. The brightness of the setting sun assaults my freshly woken eyes, forcing me to avert them until they adjust. The long, yellow strands of wheat brush against my legs as I wade through them, the densely grown field making it hard to advance. Regardless, my eyes stay fixed ahead, true to that solitary figure. Within minutes I reach her. Meters behind her turn back. Lily? She simply nods. Where's Hanako? She's in bed. She went to sleep after I calmed her down, she says in matter-of-factly, and with as few words as possible, as if saying any more was strictly forbidden. There's something different about her. Her normally confident figure seems oddly fragile, her body offering no resistance to the breeze blowing her skirt. The strands of wheat sway from side to side while a deafening passes, the only sound being their rustling. As we stand in the field alone, I know what I have to ask. What's wrong, Lily? You are not acting like you usually do. Remember when I talked of my family, Hisao? Your family? I look downwards in thought, sifting through my scattered memories. The event seems to leap ready to hand when I search for it, rising to the surface as soon as it was recalled. After Hanako's birthday party, she gives a simple nod. It was nice back then, you and I, celebrating with Hanako, simply sharing presents, talking, having fun together. It was almost as if we were a family, one small, misshapen family. I thought that could just go on forever. Just the three of us, happily together. She takes a long breath, a slight shakiness to it, just barely audible through the moving air. Even if my family was so far away, as long as we were together, that was all I needed. I don't want to lose you, Hisao. I didn't even realize how afraid I was of losing someone else until today. I'm sorry, Lily. I know my body's weak, but even then, I make the most stupid of mistakes. Don't apologize. Please, don't apologize. Lily? She turns to face me, her pale cheeks stained with tears. One misguided step ahead after another, she stumbles towards me, her arms held out in search of so much as a faint brush against me. My heart doesn't race, nor pound, as I step towards Lily, gently taking and steadying her in my arms, as she quickly clutches to me, sobbing. With her face trembling against my shoulder, the next words from her mouth are the last I expected. I love you, Hisao. I love you. 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 Don't go away. I beg of you. Never, ever go away. I love you so, please. So, that's why she's been acting like this. That tender voice when I call her. Her toothless concern at the slightest pain I might feel. Don't ruin the moment. After having been left in Japan without her family, and with only Akira, Hanako and me around, she was afraid of losing yet another person who was close to her. She was genuinely worried for me. It's a strange feeling, a mix of surprise and sorrow, yet also of the deepest gratitude I think I've ever felt. The only reaction I can muster among my conflicting emotion is a calm sigh. You idiot. Sao? For a fleeting moment, I feel her body become still. The only movement to be felt is the calm afternoon breeze. I said it before, didn't I? It's only natural to feel concerned about those around you. I'm still here, and I'll always be here, because I want to see you more each day, to share in your happiness, to support you in your sadness. But most of all, I'll still be here because I want to see your smile, your true smile. Are those your wedding vows? A single gust of wind rustles the long strands of wheat. A second silence passes. Smile when you can. Smile when you want to smile. Cry when you want to cry. I love you, Lily. So you don't have to hold back anymore. With that, her arms clutch my back as tightly as she can. Her face buried beside mine. Her tears fall down my back, and she cries unrestrainedly as the last of her resistance melts away. Hisao! I close my eyes and bring my head down to her shoulder, holding her shaking frame tightly. It's okay, Lily. I'll never go away. I promise. We slowly walk back to the house, holding each other tightly as we take a seat inside. Lily leans her head onto my shoulder as I put my arm around her waist. Neither of us has anyone to break the silence. With her eyes shut, it is hard to work out whether she is falling asleep. Not that I mind. The warmth of her body leaning against me. The softness of her hand delicately held in mine. For a long time we sit leaning against one another, sharing our warmth and feelings as night eventually begins to settle in. Lily's gentle, soft voice ends the silence. Thank you, Hisao. Thank you for returning my feelings. Did you think I wouldn't? There was the possibility. I take a deep breath in thought. That much was only my fault. It is funny actually. I was thinking of telling you about my own feelings sometime soon. I guess in that way you saved me the effort. She raises her head a little and gives a tiny, amused giggle. I smile at how earnest it is, so girlish in its lightness. She collects herself soon afterward, her hair resting against my shoulder. Feeling a bit better? She gives a small nod. You are thoughtful, Hisao. That is why I like you. I'm sorry I'm like this. As much as I didn't want to make you concerned about me, I couldn't do anything to prevent it. Don't apologize for it. Please don't. Lily? Have I ever apologized for my blindness? Even once? You can't help the way you were born, Hisao. There is no point in apologizing for who you are. She says this with surprising conviction. In the end, it was perhaps this mentality which spurred her to befriend me in such a short time. In addition to her motherly instincts, she did seem to become trusting very quickly, but I never questioned why. Now it seems obvious that she did so to help me as I went through one of the lowest points of my life. I moved to respond, but cut myself off as I feel her fingers run gently through my hair. I feel their soft and delicate touch moving downwards to trace the contours of my face, her palm finally settling on my cheek. You're a beautiful person, Hisao. Please, don't ever apologize for that. For a moment, I am utterly speechless. I slowly bent my head down, placing a tender kiss on her light, voluminous hair. We're a couple of right old fools, aren't we? We are. After a long calm, she speaks again. Hisao? Yeah? I wouldn't mind if you... I feel her hand tensing under mine, trembling slightly. My mouth opens, but try as I might, I can't formulate a response to her proposition. Just kiss her already! Lily? No, not a question. Lily? Before I can say another word, she slips her hand from under mine and tenderly holds the side of my face once more. Please. I gave a peaceful smile, holding her hand against my cheek as I nod a single time. Okay. As I look into her eyes, she leans towards me. Her delicate lips touch mine as she guides herself with her hand. She breaks off not a second later, faintly smiling. I love you, Hisao. We kiss again, this time with both of us meeting the other. While the previous kiss was one of love, this one of lust. Our tongues meeting and our breathing heavy. After precious seconds we part, both our faces well and truly flushed. Both of us bring our fingers to our lips in unison, recalling that fleeting feeling, rapidly becoming buried both by our urges and bashfulness. Lily is the first to shift uncomfortably, though. What is it? Shall we get more comfortable? Okay. Now that she mentions it, this futon will be a bit too narrow to do much on. Considering the thoughts running through both our minds, it is no small wonder one of us has any measure of foresight left. I take her hand and guide her sideways as I move. The brief and awkward dance ending with both of us tentatively sitting on the floor opposite each other. As I reach forwards to pull her top up, she stops after she moves her hand to do the same. You are shaking. I pause for a moment and look at my hands. Sure enough, they are quivering slightly. Whether it's from nervousness or excitement, I am not sure. I guess I am. So you are as nervous as I am, then. I withdraw my hands and sigh, steadying myself. We have plenty of time, so there is no need to rush this. Sorry, it is my first time, so I am a bit... She giggles shakily, all but confirming what I reasonably deduced by now. It is the same for me. I'm happy. We could share this together. I match her smile twofold, leaning forward and taking her body in my arms as she reaches to hug me back. I love you, Lily. You already said that. I can't help grinning. Even in such a situation, she still has her wits about her. Breaking our embrace, we decide to take off our own clothing. While it is easier this way, I don't doubt it is just an attempt to distract ourselves from our nerves. With slightly stiff hands, I began to slide the first button out from my shirt. Once we remove the last of our clothes, which end up haphazardly piled behind us, my breast is taken by the side in front of me. I will have to censor this. Her long, shapely legs, full hips, and her breasts, plump but dainty. Her slight, blushing face, delicately and reserved, is framed by the bangs of her hair. Her hands, tightly held behind her, only serve to further accentuate her chest. Her tall and pale body is beautiful when bared. This girl in front of me, reserved, yet playful, astute, yet hospitable, is the girl I've fallen in love with. I lean forward, delicately taking her shoulders in my hands. As I do, she brings her hands to my chest. With a slightly uneven breath, we lean into a deep kiss. I feel one of Lily's hands slowly slide up to my chest, while slide up to my shoulder. It and her head very gently moving forwards. Assuming her intent, I lean back onto the floor. Ah. She lowers herself beside me, one hand stroking my hair as the other moves across my chest. The feeling of her breast against it is enough to excite me. This must be her way of taking in what I've already seen of her. Despite her lack of sight, she engraves every detail of my bare body and chest into her mind. When her middle finger falls into the slight recess of my chest scar, a lingering effect of my operation so many months ago, she slowly runs her hand down its length. This is the scar from my surgery. They had to do this in order to operate on my heart. For a moment, she's lost for words. The idea of such extensive scarring adding a new worry for her. Her expression changes from curiosity to apprehension. Should we really be doing this kind of thing? Those words bother me beyond what it is rational. We already started. You gotta finish what you start. Lily's face breaks my heart more than even her words possibly could. Yet I don't even know the answer to her question. I can't let this condition dominate me forever. It may not even be medically advisable, but I outright refuse to live my life in such a prison. It's okay, Lily. This much will be okay. Her troubled expression holds for a moment longer, but she eventually acquiesces. Her hand moving to my lower chest, and then my thigh. With a look of slight surprise, she slowly moves her hand downwards, her breast catching as she brushes the side of my lower hair. She tentatively moves her hand sideways, delicately touching the most honest part of my body. This is... yeah. Our nervousness peaks as the act begins, her hand gently patting up and down as lightly as if it would break if breathed upon. I'm not sure whether it is just to steady myself or because I want to steady her, but I take my free hand and hold the side of her face in it. The feeling of her hair and soft skin is nice, and it seems to lighten her mood a bit. The mere fact that I am being touched by her is surprisingly erotic. I feel my body relaxing as I submit to the pleasure overwhelming me. Long minutes pass in almost total silence, or heavy breathing the only sound to be heard in the house. Lily's fingers stop affectionately stroking my hair, and she opens her lips once again. Hisao! I wait a second for the rest of the sentence, but none is forthcoming. She may be trying to take the lead, but she is still incredibly nervous. I can't help smiling as I stroke her hair from her face a couple of times, reassuring her. As nervous as she may be, I am thankful that Lily is taking the lead. I'd probably be just as anxious as she if oh no, I read it right. As she if I weren't attending to her. Okay. She pauses a moment before giving a small nod, sitting up and shifting her legs over mine. Once again, my breath is stolen by the magnificent sight of her body over mine. I can only look unfrozen as she delicately lowers herself, resting her reddened lips over me. She slowly begins to move her hips downwards, her softness enveloping my consciousness. She takes a deep breath to collect herself, her face remaining steady, with her hands taking in my body in lieu of sight. The intimate situation models her usual efforts to compensate for lack of eye contact. She gradually lowers herself onto me, her knees and hands supporting her as she does. Her entire body tenses as I enter, her expression obviously one of stifled pain. Despite that, I can't help savoring the soft, warm feeling enveloping my consciousness, the surge of pleasure overcoming all my senses. The last vestiges of it all but disappear inside her while her nails slightly scrape into my chest in an effort to stop herself from yelping in pain. A pained moan, too much for her to suppress completely, escaping from her lips. As I open my mouth to comfort her, I see the barely visible red drops from between her legs. Lily, if it is too much... She clenches her mouth tightly, quickly and forcefully shaking her head from side to side in defiance. After a couple of seconds, she relaxes her body slightly, though she is still obviously far from being uncomfortable. It is okay. I'm okay. She swallows. She swallows hard, trying to collect herself. Lifting herself slowly and bringing herself back down, she relaxes a little, more as the feelings of pleasure begin to overtake those of pain. Her breathing starts to match the same ragged patterns as mine, her body almost teasingly slowly. She looks as if she is slowly beginning to enjoy the act, my feelings finally reaching her. I am not sure if she is keeping herself at this speed for her sake or for mine. But either way, with this slow and steady pace, I think I can keep my body in check. It is funny in a way, that even now I am depending on her. For us to be joined together like this, or feeling so close, it makes me glad to be sharing our first moment together like this. It's an almost overwhelming feeling. I love you, Lily. Hisao. I can feel her body tensing, her breathing and movements becoming steadily less carefully controlled. I am happy to be making her feel so good. But as my thoughts become increasingly focused, I can only feel myself rapidly nearing my limit. Control of my body is instantaneously wrested from my mind as I grit my teeth hard, a loud moan escaping as I climax, and my hips hit hers. Her body hunches over at the same moment, her breasts touching on my chest. We stay locked in all-encompassing ecstasy for a brief moment, my mind completely taken by the feeling for a precious few seconds. It ends all too soon, and our bodies collapse in exhaustion, with Lily barely staying on top of me. I lifelessly manage to wrap my arms around her limp, sweating body, and for minutes we simply lay there, silently savoring the contact with each other while we recover from the experience. Neither of us had thought ourselves or prepared for such a thing. Of that much I am certain. Entirely drained, far past the point of conversation, I look at her tired face. It looks as if the exertion, both physical and mental, has almost forced her to the verge of collapse. I love you, Lily, she nods weakly, rubbing my hair with her left hand. If we could simply remain together like this for an eternity, it will be paradise like no other. Boy, I hope Hanako didn't hear any of that. Katawa Shoujo. Raining. After being woken by a sound, I open my eyes. Did you fall asleep? With a measure of reluctance. Turning my head to the left, I find the rain outside sweep against the window loudly. Spray after wind-blown spray lashes against the glass, as if trying its hardest to make up for the summer's previous heat. I sit up on the futon, holding the back of my neck to try and subdue the pain from my awkward sleeping position. By all accounts, I should be lamenting the turn in the weather, given that this is our last day here. The events of yesterday refuse to stop flooding my mind though. The feeling of Lily holding Lily's craving body in my arms, the rush of lust and hormones that flowed through us as we spent the night together. It seems almost futile to try and rationalize everything that happened. In an attempt to distract myself, I was scratching my head. I groan and lean over to retrieve my bag without standing, pulling out one bottle after another. I take the daily regimen worth of pills from their containers and swallow them without further ado. It took a surprisingly short amount of time to get used to swallowing pills without water. That said, I suppose the same thing goes for getting used to living in a school for disabled students. Remembering Yamaku, I become all the more grateful for having the chance to get away, even if it is just for the shortest of times. I appreciate the chance to spend time alone with Lily and Hanako, away from the bustle of school life, even considering the latest complications. I never thought I'd say it, but the idea of living away from the city in a nice, tranquil area is an inviting one. It is a thought that, barely a year ago, would have seemed simply ludicrous. A flash of pink, no doubt Hanako's gown, peeks from around the corner, realizing I must look like I must look aside since I've only just woken up. I slap the remaining pills into my mouth and run a hand through my hair. Okay, it's the next day. Good morning, Hisao. Go. I reply to her, completely forgotten that I'm in the middle of swallowing a particularly large pill, coughing and spluttering a violently gag on it. Hisao! After sputtering loudly and tapping my chest a couple of times to force it down, I managed to recover. I'm fine, sorry, I forgot I was swallowing. Sorry, I didn't mean to. I hold my hand, gesturing for Hanako to stop. I gagged. It is my fault. Morning, Hanako. She pauses a moment before bowing in reply. And we're gonna leave it for next episode. I'm gonna see what can I do to cover her up. Bye.